excellence in sports entertainment.
Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast.
What? No!
Hey, Jason, what's crack-a-lackin', man? WWE Hall of Famer, the Godfather here. And Brian, along with Kevin and Joe, the four of you guys do the wrestling podcast. I along with them, want to wish you happy birthday. So you're going to turn 46. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. At 46, you're probably still not running to the clubs and chasing hoes and stuff, so we're going to stay off of that. Wow. But just enjoy your day. And I see you guys, like I said, you host a podcast called The Wrestling Podcast, and you call yourself the Podfather. Well, that's pretty cool, man. And you got a special Papa Shango shirt. I got one, too. Is yours mine? But anyway, my brother, I want to wish you a happy birthday. Enjoy your day. And it is time, once again, for everybody, including my man Jason, to come aboard the Ho Train. And let me hear you say, pimpin' ain't easy. Man, I still love doing that, my friend. Hey, like I said, my brother, happy birthday. Enjoy your day, man. Peace.
Hey.
What? Thank you for starting.
Hey, happy birthday. Yes.
That was cool. Thank you. I literally said to my wife, I'm like, I was like, they're not doing anything for me. They're not. I'm good with that.
Oh, come on.
Oh, poor baby.
He had to. No, I was good with it. Like, I mean,
no,
I don't expect anything like that, but thank you. Much appreciated.
He listens to the wrestling podcast.
Yeah, the wrestling podcast.
Yeah, and I'm sure the wrestling podcast is a great one.
Yeah, that was a typo on my part. I put in the wrestling podcast.
That was on you? I thought it was him.
No, it was him. Of course it was him. It wasn't me.
I don't know, Brian. You get the email and everything wrong all the time.
No, that and the only thing I couldn't include, because they do limit the character count of what we can ask, was that you are the godfather to my daughter Harper, and so I was going to say Godfather, but I ran out of room. I threw in the podcast, the Shango shirt, which I was just hoping of all hope that you'd be wearing it tonight, but of course it's the Summer of Cena. So we got it done no matter what, though. So happy birthday, my friend.
But you got him to wear a Papa Shango shirt, so that was cool.
True.
Yeah, that's I met him a few years ago at like a WrestleCon or something. He was super cool. So awesome. Yeah, Birthday was this past Wednesday. It was cool. My wife got me the one of my like holy grail sneakers that I'd been looking for a long time and could never pull the. I didn't have the grapefruits to pull the trigger on the purchase, but she did. So
beautiful.
Yeah, got me a nice little pair of Kobe's, and it was just a simple. I'm a big believer that birthdays are a big deal every year because you don't know if you're going to get another one. Not everybody feels that way. And so
now I feel dark because I'm in the believer of like birthdays aren't that big of a deal. So I guess I should start thinking differently now.
I see both sides. I literally nobody asked me what I wanted for my birthday. Like not one person. My sister came up and visited me this weekend. She got me a jar of pickles. She got me some seasonings.
Did she go to Picklesburg?
I don't know.
That was the fair.
Yeah.
No, that's the big fair.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I don't know when it is.
I think it was recent. So
was it? No, she got him at Trader Joe's. But in any event, So
Kevin, Joe,
awesome.
They shut down all the streets around PNC Park where the Pirates play, and it's a giant pickle festival across the bridge into the city. Like it's. I don't even like pickles, but I know what it is. So
yeah.
Pickles are big there, what I'm learning, because it's on the Heinz bottle, which used to be the name of the Steelers stadium.
Yeah. That's
how do you say the name of the new stadium? Is it? I don't know how to say it.
Clue.
Acrisure?
Acrisure?
I don't know. It's a Michigan company, and I never even heard of it. Had Joe have? No,
but the guy who did it donated $10 million to Michigan State Breslin Center renovation.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if he has ties to Michigan State just is kind of weird, but Crypto Arena, right? Or
Crypto.com. Crypto.com Arena.
Yeah. So it's not the weirdest name.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. The Roonies want to get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely does. But
yes, the fans.
Happy birthday, buddy. We couldn't. We usually start with the old staple. What are you wearing? But we wanted to get right to it and celebrate your 46th birthday. It's awesome. Now we can get back to the regularly scheduled program of what are you wearing.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
It is What Are You Wearing? If if you haven't listened to the show before, you're new, or maybe just haven't heard us explain this in a while, because it is a wrestling podcast, you have to wear a wrestling shirt. It's mandatory. So that's what we do to start off the show each week. Jason rolls on. This is week number 3, I believe.
Week number 3 of the Summer of Cena from my friends at Homage. It's the John Cena Hustle, Loyalty, Respect. They did put out a new John Cena shirt, but the rules were I can't buy a shirt. And I'm not going to lie to you. This may just extend through the month of July, because I don't feel like digging through 8 crates. And I've got some cool shit that I just bought today that I cannot wait to wear, because none of you know what it is. And when you see it, you're going to be like, holy fuck, that's awesome. So Summer of Cena rolls on, week 3 for me.
It may be a partial Summer of Cena, as it turns out. And that's okay. That's okay. Kev, how about you, my man?
Yeah, I haven't worn this shirt in a while. We're going to get on a topic a little bit later with maybe some switching up of the TV programming. So I'm wearing a shirt. He liked sex. He liked violence. I'm wearing the Rated R Superstar graffiti shirt that I used to wear in public all the time. Now, with being a 40-year-old dad, I'm like, I don't know if I want to have people look, sex and violence. Just, I don't know. But I like the shirt. Yeah. Always love the shirt.
Excellent. I'm wearing the British Bulldog shirt for random purposes of, I believe, Britain's Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, just stepped down a couple of days ago. I'm not too in the know of European politics, but so maybe they need somebody better in charge, like the British Bulldog in that sense. So that was kind of my roundabout connection.
The zombie British Bulldog?
Zombie British Bulldog. Yeah. Harry, his son will do it. Who knows? And Joe, wrap us up for this week.
Mine. Yeah, thanks. I'm going with kind of a theme now, too, of the simple fact that I realized most of my shirts are all black, like most wrestling shirts. So I'm going to pick shirts that are not black for as long as I can go. And I'm starting with the Royal Blue Chris Jericho, You Just Made the List shirt.
All right.
So yes, it's the Jericho You Just Made the List, because he does not like you making lists of botches. He is against that.
We'll get into that. He's got a big week next week with Barbed Wire Everywhere, I believe is the title. So we'll get into that a little bit.
I think next week I will go red.
Yes, might be appropriate enough after what happens on Wednesday. Jay, you were on the road again, man. You were in Vegas just a few short weeks ago, and you traveled up the California highway for some more WWE action this past Saturday night. Let's hear all about it.
I went to the Saturday night's main event, which was the SmackDown live event that, shocker, spoiler alert, happened on Saturday. It was at the Golden One Center where the Sacramento Kings play. And I had been there before a couple years ago for a concert, but the construction around the arena wasn't done. And now there's food, there's bars, there's a mall, there's movie, like everything is around this arena right in downtown Sacramento. So we stayed literally a block away at this hotel. You just walk out, you go up the sidewalk, and you're already at the arena. So, like I said, it was the Saturday night SmackDown show. And I'm going to run through the card real quick. It started with Gunther and Ricochet. Great match.
That's fun.
Gunther got the W. The bathroom match was number 2. Funny. I didn't even mean it like that. Now, the number 2 on the card, a triple threat match. Lacey, Baszler, and Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a snoozer. Lacey's got this new thing where she walks out, goes back, walks back out. Give me the respect I deserve. I was a military, blah, blah, blah. Raquel ended up winning Ultimate Babyface. And teaser, I have a Raquel story for after the show. Baron Corbin came out, ran down Sacramento, and said, anybody in the back is from Sacramento, come on out. Drew Gulak came out. I didn't know he was from Sacramento. Corbin won. A tag match that I was excited for because it's 3 of 4 guys that I'm really into. It was Jinder and Shanky against the vicious Viking Raiders.
Announced like that, right?
Yes, because they got face paint now, and they're like the Ascension of Jace. But I love the Viking Raiders, and they ended up winning, which led to a Shanky dance party with Samantha Urban, which is up on our YouTube channel. You can check that out.
Stanky.
Yeah,
as you said, yes.
Stanky got stanky, or whatever.
He sure did.
Liv beat Ronda and Natty in a triple threat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This was the one that Natty stormed
news.
out. And I was like, I wonder what's going on there. It ended up, it was nothing. So, it was just, we'll see what happens. Then it was an intermission. And then we got Humberto against Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss is going to be a star. Like he could be the next Triple H.
Wow. Oh,
really?
My. That is.
Do you want to timestamp that one? I'll say it again.
Okay, there it is.
Madcap Moss could be the next Triple H.
He just needs something else besides Cap. He needs another M. He could be the Triple M.
Triple M. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I'm really starting to dig this guy. He lost the suspenders, black boots, black tights. It's cool right now. They obviously got to get him in some better gear eventually. But yeah, he could be the next Triple H. Heard it here first. The co-main, the New Day against the Usos, against the Brawling Brutes. Usos, biggest pop of the night, even over the main event, which was Roman and Drew.
Wow.
The Usos got the biggest pop of the night.
That's awesome.
There's a couple videos up on our YouTube channel.
Is it Kevin,
podcast.
Or are you just yelling, yawning at that? Can we rewind that? Yeah, you're like, that's awesome.
New Day is
Usos. Sorry.
Yeah, so Usos did win.
Hater.
The closing moments of the match are on our YouTube channel at That Wrestling Podcast. It's the Uso kick party. I think they hit 15 super kicks to all the members in that match. It was pretty awesome. And then finally, Roman and Drew, main event. And if they're going to work this for the next couple months up until that Castle show, dude, it went about 20 minutes, and it's just unbelievable. I cannot wait to see this on a pay-per-view level in a fucking stadium. The crowd at Golden One was about 8,000. They had the top section tarped off. It is an NBA arena, so that probably holds about 18,000. So they roped off the top, and it was just a great, great house show. I've said before, I like house shows better than TV. They're more fun. And there was some kids in this section over. And if you watch some of these videos, you can hear some of them. But I told my wife, this is how everybody should watch wrestling. Mm-hmm. Boo the bad guys, cheer the good guys. Like during the main event, these 2 kids were losing their mind. Come on, Drew, you want this. You can beat him. You're the best. And I'm like, yes, that's how it should be. Wonderful. All right, show's over. And earlier I talked about all the businesses and restaurants around the arena. So we go just to grab a small dessert. And we sit down, and Raquel Rodriguez is at the table next to us.
Oh, okay.
So Michelle's like I knew who she was. Michelle didn't know who she was, even though 2 hours prior, Michelle was like, that girl has no boobs. So
yeah, she's not wrong, but yes.
No, but so you could tell she was at dinner with some people that lived in Sacramento, friends, family, whatever. And they were trying to take a photo. There was like one here and people behind. I'm like, do you guys want me to take your photo? And they were like, oh yeah, that'd be great. So I took some photos of them while wearing a That Wrestling Podcast t-shirt.
Nice. Okay.
I didn't want to bother.
Yeah.
I didn't
No, you did the right thing.
I was just like, So
it's not a meet and greet. She's out doing her thing with some, private friends, family.
And then we are eating our dessert on the patio, and a rat joined us at our table.
Oh, so the Kings fans were there, right?
Yeah, it was so gross. I was like, all right, we're out. So we got up, and the waitress was like, what's wrong? I'm like, there's a giant rat right there. I was like, can we go sit inside? And they didn't comp us our desserts or anything.
Oh, no.
It was so fucking gross. And this is why I don't eat out on patios. I don't eat outside because it's gross. I had an incident with some pelicans at the beach a couple years ago.
Yep.
And now this. So don't eat outside. Eat inside. And that's my WWE live event report from Sacramento.
That's great, man. Glad you had a great experience. Glad you had fun with the crowd there. And it was a great time. A pretty solid show from top to bottom, from what you're saying.
Breaking news, Kevin. Former President Donald Trump reports that his ex-wife, Ivana Trump, has died at age 73.
I saw that earlier.
That was earlier today. It's not really breaking.
Right.
She was probably at one of those WrestleManias 4 or 5 with him.
I think you're
probably
right
both
about
of
that,
them. Yes.
Actually. Yeah.
So rest in peace, Ivanka Trump.
Ivanka, she was the wife before Marla Maples.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. In any event, on with the show. Speaking of
when breaking news breaks, we break it even more.
Speaking of old people, I guess Vince McMahon. More, I don't know, right? How do you just transition to that? We got to touch on more news came out from the Wall Street Journal. Of course, a couple weeks ago was
don't say touch on and then go into Vince, please.
Oh yes, yeah, bad choice of word. We need to report on what the Wall Street Journal has shared. So they had the story a couple weeks back about the improper conduct that he's paid off an employee, and so he's under investigation by the board. More reports have come out from the Wall Street Journal. Vince has allegedly agreed to pay over $12 million in hush money to 4 different women over the last 16 years. The payments were to keep allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity quiet. According to the report, one of the women was a former wrestler who was paid $7.5 million. She claimed that McMahon coerced her into giving him oral sex, then demoted her and opted not to renew her contract in 2005 when she refused to do anything else. So we're not going to get into our feelings on the allegations and everything with that. That's not what this is about. But this is about, now that we've heard this stuff compared to what we heard a couple weeks ago, where do you think your thoughts are just where this is headed for Vince? This is, again, just more bad news coming out. And I don't know if you guys remember when I put it in the rundown of like your percentage of like, will Vince remain, or will this be the end of Vince? And mine's flipped a little bit. And I think mine was like 45% this will be the end, but 55%, the simple majority that yes, he'll still be there. And I'm flipping that. I think with this more info coming out, I'm going the other way. I feel like it's now like a 60% that this will lead to the end of Vince McMahon as CEO officially.
I don't remember my percentages, but here's 100% percentage fact. Netflix had that whole thing.
Oh yeah, I read this.
Next.
It was finished.
At least
it was almost finished.
Yeah.
And they said, nope, forget it, which kind of stinks because I'm sure Netflix does amazing stuff. And it's sad. The thing is, if there's more, I'd rather it all come out so we don't have to, think, oh, there are other things that are going to come out. This is what I don't necessarily understand. Because Jay, you always say, is it his money? Right? Is it his money? All the 12 million was paid to have it just go away.
That's what rich people do.
I know, but then it's being uncovered. That's what
it's not being uncovered. It's a jealous friend that's leaking this shit.
Yeah, no, that is true. Let me ask you this: do you guys have any interest in knowing who the female wrestler was?
Not really.
Not really.
I saw,
because the thing is, she hasn't mentioned it, and she's let her have her piece too, because it's like this happened in 2005. If you're going to do your detective work, it can be only like 2 people, and it doesn't really matter because neither one of them have mentioned it since. So they're probably upset that it's being brought up again.
Yeah. If that person wants it to be, then they'll make their presence known. But yeah, I mean, do you guys feel any differently from the first allegations?
I think my original one was 70% saying, 30% going. I think I'm in the flipping it as well. I don't think he's coming back in 2022. I think he's done for the year. I feel like this is a ACL tear right now, but it's I don't think he's coming back this year if he ever comes back. But the thing is, what I'm reading is he may be stepping down as CEO, but he's still in charge of creativity,
TV,
creative. Yeah. So it's not like he left. Right. He's still there.
I don't care. I don't. Now, just because I enjoy WWE and I give them my money, that doesn't mean I condone what he's doing. Right, I just don't care. I just don't care.
I guess it's a difference between caring, not caring, and just being knowledgeable about essentially what the future of the company and what it could be. Because that's, if he is done, he's the biggest figure in wrestling history.
Yeah.
The company will move on. They are now bigger than one person. Mm-hmm. They're publicly traded. They are an entertainment that can move on. Because look what happened. I look at it as when Walt Disney passed and then Roy Disney passed. It's now the brand of entertainment that can move on. This isn't like an investment company. This isn't anything of that nature. This isn't a video company. It's not a streaming company. It is an live entertainment brand that will move on. So I don't have any issues of what's going to happen with the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and the stock really hasn't taken a hit. That's another thing too. With all these allegations and everything going on, the stock has been steady.
Yeah, and that's not something I know quite all. Naturally you hear scandal, stock goes down, right? So it's interesting behavior, but I don't really know kind of all the ins and outs about it. But yeah, it's just it comes from an image thing, right? It's just like, oh, if this is coming out, then it is all about the money, as we mentioned. So how are these sponsors reacting? How are the TV partners reacting?
Let me compare it to this. I mean, I know it's not the same at all. Michael Vick killed dogs, went through the fucking ringer, got back to the NFL, and was cheered. Mm-hmm. Look, Vince McMahon, these things came out. He shows up on TV, puts his nuts out there, and the crowd fucking loves him. So, like I said, I don't care anymore as long as the shows keep happening. I don't care what he does behind closed doors. Yes.
Yeah. No, the show will go on, no doubt. Speaking of the show, thought this was pretty interesting. Last Friday's SmackDown, I didn't get to watch it. We had my daughter Harper's birthday party, but last Friday's episode had the least amount of bell-to-bell ring time of any WWE broadcast this year. 13 minutes and 40 seconds of actual wrestling in a 2-hour show. Now, of course, so much of that 2 hours is commercials, right? It's probably an hour, 38 minutes of actual TV time. I don't know, maybe even less than that of the 2 hours. The longest match in the card, 6 minutes, 40 seconds with Nakamura versus Ludwig Kaiser. Guys, I mean, I've kind of felt maybe some kind of way about SmackDown since Mania, and maybe it just coincides, I thought initially, with Roman taking time off. That just, it hasn't felt quite the same. And I wonder if you guys have kind of felt that. When you see this, are you like, damn, we need more wrestling? Or you're like, hey, it is what it is?
No, we definitely need more wrestling than 13 minutes in a 2-hour show. Are you kidding me? And you forgot about other things too. There's the recaps of what happened earlier in the night. There's the entrances that go to commercial, and then they come back from commercial, and the music is still playing.
Yes.
And then we have more promos of recaps of things that happened at the pay-per-view, premium live event that happened earlier. 13 minutes and 41 seconds in a 2-hour show is not acceptable for a wrestling show. Give me a break.
Imagine if you paid to be there live.
Well, if you paid to be there live, you got dark matches, you got main event.
Yeah.
So,
you got main event of people you didn't really want to see.
Hey, leave Shanky alone.
You got to Stanky.
Since Roman has changed his schedule, the show is different. But I'm offended, Brian, that on this rundown, you did not bring up the best part of SmackDown.
Go ahead.
The maximum male models. Okay. I
knew you would. I
applied today at MaximumMaleModels.com. It's awesome that they made a website.
Yes.
And literally on the website, it says purely for entertainment. We are not real model agents. Like it's the best. However, they put out merch and I bought the merch only because I'm afraid it's going to go away very soon. And I want leave the memories alone of the MMM t-shirt as well as the photo shirt with
so it's a logo. Yeah.
One's a logo and then one is Dupree, Massey, and Monsoir on the shirt. Yeah.
What if you go on the Jumbotron on SmackDown?
Well, Kevin, it's the photo of my orange shirt.
Did I take that photo?
From Vegas. Yeah, from Vegas.
But
I went through so many pictures because it had to be a full body photo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I did some digging. I'm like, the orange is like, put me on fucking TV. I don't care because I put my Twitter handle as my TWP. Like, fuck yeah.
And have you seen how Max Dupree on Twitter has been critiquing the submissions? Have you seen
No.
That? Okay.
I'll have to get into that. I will get into that.
Twitter. Yeah, he posts or retweets a picture and goes like, here's why you suck, in better terms than that.
Ooh,
so look at that. So that's fun. I'm not so sure about this, but I'm waiting. Yeah, as we've said on the show, let it play out. Because it is just they're so all in on it, and there's something about the names of the Massey and
here's what's funny,
Mansoir that you just go, Jesus Christ.
It didn't dawn on me until I got the shirt. It's
yes,
MMM. Titillate the juices. Like this is, this is where it's at, and everyone I've talked to loves it. There's a few haters, like you, but I am all in, and I don't care about the name change anymore. I love being entertained, and if I get dissed by Max Dupree, I'm okay with that. If I get put on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, I'm okay with that. Put me on .com. I don't care. I want to be a maximum male model. Let's do this.
Love it. Kev, any SmackDown thoughts? What have you liked, not liked, or anything of the sort?
Joe hit it right on the nose when he mentioned this is my biggest gripe, and it's not even with SmackDown, it's with Raw too. And I think of AJ for some reason. It's always AJ who walks down to the ring, and then they get backstage segment, and I even forget AJ's in there. And then you look, and it's like, someone on Twitter is like, "Yep, AJ's been standing in the ring for 8 minutes and 43 seconds." Right. Like, how many times do you have to be dun 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 dun? Like,
they don't want none.
Like, no, we do want some. We want to see wrestling. We want to see in-ring entertainment. I think it's tricky. So there are extra commercials. I'm going to start maybe timing it compared to USA. It just seems like SmackDown's heavy on commercials, maybe because it's on the network, Fox compared to USA, but it's got to be more than 13. At least get in the 20s, at least. Yeah. If not around 30. But when you take commercials out, whatever happened to wrestling during the commercials, right? And then if something cool happened,
we had that on Raw. Was it this past week or the week before they did the picture-in-picture like Dynamite does? And I don't know, maybe just different arrangement with Fox. It doesn't work. The story continued about this, that there's been 7 matches on SmackDown this year that have gone over the 13 minutes of total matches that took place at this week's show. So I think it'll need some room for improvement there. Moving on to Raw. No one saw this coming. Dolph Ziggler's back, and Dolph Ziggler's in the main event angle, and he takes out Theory. Say what? I was just like, unbelievable. What is happening here?
Oh my God.
So it was wild. Didn't see this coming whatsoever. And it was just so out of left field too, because Dolph, I mean, maybe when he cashed in Money in the Bank, he was a face for a little bit, but he's traditionally a heel. He's taking out Theory, and it was a great cliffhanger. Like, the show goes off the air. We don't know why. So I enjoyed that part of it because it leaves you with more questions, right? Tune in next week. Your guys' thought on Dolph Ziggler? I mean, he's been around for a minute. He's said and done a whole lot of stuff, and I did not see him getting into this spot after being off TV for a little while.
I thought it was interesting that he was wearing a suit. It makes me think that he's going to be playing more of the enforcer role, like working with Adam Pearce. That's what I would like to see happen with this, to make sure that the SummerSlam main event is protected. So Dolph is the hired gun to make sure that it's not cashed in or something along that nature. Because Dolph can't say anything against Theory of you can't cash in on someone who's hobbled. He did.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Ziggler be part of an authority type figure, but not like corporate Kane, as in he just goes on main events at ringside to make sure there's no Uso-ference or anything of that nature, because he is legit too.
He won me over at NXT in Dallas. He showed up a couple weeks ago on him and Rude, and I think they had a moment with Veer, which was random.
Yeah. Oh, joking, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Joking. I'm going to say Triple H sent Ziggler.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. So sort of.
Yeah.
He's more of the corporate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Kev, Dolph Ziggler. Kev.
No, I didn't even think of anything with the enforcer or someone sending him down. First thing that I could think is just seeing Riddle's shocked face, kind of. I like Riddle solo. First thing that I thought, maybe he's gonna try to give Riddle some critiques, right? Try to fill in the shoes of Randy, kind of like a duo twosome there, and then kind of lead into a little program between those two. It made me interested in Ziggler. Ziggler is one of those guys where it's such amazing talent, top shelf, right? And then for some reason, it just fizzles and fizzles. Then it goes up, but then it fizzles down more and fizzles down more. And it's just guy can't catch a break. He's always going to be amazing, always doing great matches, but just not the string of luck. Coming in during the main event, closing out the show with that sweet super kick to Theory. I'm excited.
The rap on Ziggler is that he's a good hand.
Yes.
And good hands only go so far.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's good on the mic. He's a great wrestler. He's maybe the best bumper of all time.
A dirty dog.
He's a dirty dog. Remember when he for whatever reason, it was him and Goldberg at SummerSlam a couple years ago. And I was like, they only put him in this so he can take the greatest spear of all time, and look like he died. And he did. So, yep. I mean, that's what Dolph...
Is that all best. You got?
Yeah,
Goldberg comes down again.
Ridiculous. But I was very pleased with just the developments because, again, it felt very old school. What's going on? This is wild. And speaking of maybe things going wild, report came out today. Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, one of my favorite wrestling podcasts, reported that for Monday Night Raw, the PG era is over. And starting this Monday, Monday Night Raw will be TV 14. Well, the story just broke this afternoon. Jay shared the link with me and all of us this afternoon. And then later on, it was this is developing and maybe it's not this Monday. And the last thing I saw right before we went on was Andrew said it was a memo saying that, yes, it's changing, but it got leaked before it was meant to be sent. And it's not going to be this Monday. So I guess.
Did Andrew have two sources?
But that's a good question. I know he has a source for sure.
Fucking hack.
No.
Hack.
He's good. He's good people. But yeah, I mean, what did you guys think when it came to this? Is this something that you would look forward to? What would you want to see out of, I mean, I guess my head immediately goes to the Attitude Era, right? You think about that and you go, what do you want to see in this day and age, and maybe what don't you see? That's kind of what my headspace was when I heard this.
I think it's going to be more middle fingers. The word piss will get involved a lot. I think it'll be language and hand gestures more than bras and panties.
Agree. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. It's going to be more like Dynamite, where they're just dropping S-bombs like it's their job.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they'll be swearing.
They'll do that after 9 o'clock or after 10 o'clock.
I don't see that. I don't see I don't see the word shit being used often, if at all.
Well, not as much as Dynamite.
I think it'll be more. I consider Miz do like beatdown promos, right? Like he beats people up with his words. I think you're going to be more tough promos and truly like more beatdowns outside of the ring. Not even like during wrestling matches. I think it's just going to be more aggressive,
violence?
More violence.
Would it be sex and violence that you're looking forward to, Kevin?
Maybe. Just without the bra and panty match. They need to figure out how to get women's matches better overall. Not just with the bra and panties. Yeah. And no Vince, if we're going to go Attitude Era, no Vince falling off a chair with his O face.
love that gif. That's always a classic. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much in lockstep. Yeah. I think, I'm okay with a little more violence, a little more adult language. But,
blood?
Yeah, a little bit of blood.
No blood.
Just no chair shots.
Not
only needed in
no chair shots to the head.
Yeah, only needed in like the hardcore matches, like Hell in a Cell or any type of Extreme Rules. But blood just for blood, it gets a little old.
Exactly.
Just watch any Moxley match, and it's like, oh, he's bleeding again.
Yeah. It needs to be used sparingly, but that's what makes it a nice thing is if it is used at an appropriate time for, like a feud, like a Seth and Cody, like Hell in a Cell matches can have that again. That's great. And I'm glad you guys felt all the same way about like, the women and the divas. Like I'm thinking about I think there's a SmackDown house show near the end of August here in Detroit. And I'm like, I might want to take my 6-year-old Harper to that. And I'm thinking about that, like, if they're going to, if it's Bianca Belair in a bra and panties match, like, can't be doing that.
They're not going to go back.
I can't imagine they would, but that's where my headspace was of like, okay, you're dipping into this territory.
No, if it was Nikita Lyons and that type of thing. Whoa.
Well, yeah. Shucky ducky, baby. Yeah. No, it's true. Okay. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's not this Monday. And it's interesting, Kevin, you said it in our text too, that this appears to be only on Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. SmackDown really since the beginning has been PG, like from the UPN WB days, right, and all that. So I don't see that changing, but you never know, I guess.
So I just looked up what TV 14 means. Parents strongly caution. This program contains some material that many parents would find unsuitable for children under 14 years of age. I mean, I don't know what's inappropriate for a 14-year-old. I mean, I have a 15-year-old nephew, a 13-year-old niece, and a 10-year-old nephew. And some of the things they say to me, I'm just like, I'm like, right. I know I'm the cool uncle, but you don't need to be saying stuff like that. Just keep that under your, I don't need to hear that. So
agree.
So I don't know what TV. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
It will. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Another one I thought was very interesting. Chris Jericho, he did an interview this week. And the topic of the word botch came up and gave some pretty strong opinions on this. And he said, from this interview, things happen in a match. The fucking word I hate the most that fans use is botch. Oh, you botched that one. Shut your fucking mouth. There's no such thing as a botch. This is a live show. Mistakes happen. Why? Because we're human beings and we're live. And then he continued on. He tried to compare it to sports.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens in a hockey game, the fans don't start chanting in unison, you fucked up, you fucked up. It may be cooler if they did, but you go to a Broadway play, someone fumbles their lines, people don't start chanting, "You fucked up, you fucked up." And then he continues, yeah, if it's a wrestling match, you miss a hit top, they start chanting that. It's fucking disrespectful, and wrestling fans walk the line of being disrespectful. Yeah, so he is very, very strongly against that term, fans using that term. And guys, do you see his point? What do you think?
He is 100% correct. I don't like when fans use wrestling terminology. Hear me out. Jobber, work, shoot, going over. Like, I think it's silly when fans use those terms. I always have. And when, I mentioned the wrestling school earlier, like, they teach you that stuff. Don't be a mark. Mark's another one, I have
it's okay
nothing
when
to do
Matt
with,
Cardona calls you a mark, but we can't call each other.
I don't know, man. I mean, Jericho is right.
But didn't Hulk Hogan like your shirt that said jobber?
I didn't say it. I don't know.
You
man.
wore it.
I wore it.
That's like if a kid got caught like writing the F word down. It's like, you're grounded, but I didn't say it, but you wrote it all over the wall. But Mom, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
If you ever chanted "you fucked up" ever?
No.
What day is it? Wednesday? Yeah. Like,
I feel the only time I ever did was with
I went
Brian
to ECW show.
GCW at
yeah,
Harpo.
GCW, sure.
I feel like I can't remember me ever saying it, but I understand where he's coming from. Wrestling fans are a unique breed, right? So that's like saying, I never want to hear "you still got it." I never want to hear "fight forever" or
don't want to hear those. You don't want them to fight forever. You don't want them to fight for the rest of your life. You don't want them to fight for 24 hours in a day. You don't. So don't say fight forever when you don't mean it.
Okay.
What if I say, "Natty, go away"?
But that's part of the show, and she's a heel, so that's accepted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jason, I get what you're saying, because everyone says like, oh, it's the most must-see Raw of the year. The most annoying Raw of the year is the Raw after WrestleMania, because the fans try to hijack the show. Those type of shows, I'm 100% on board with what Jason's saying with the fans have got to stop. On the other hand, Jericho sounds a little bit more like old man yelling at cloud with his not saying, you can't say botch. It's like, they don't do that in sports. Jericho, you're a child of the 70s and 80s. You not remember sports bloopers and practical jokes?
You, Joe. Yes,
are you kidding me?
Same thing. Yes,
those were huge. Those were huge on television
VHS
shows.
Tapes, yes,
of the sports bloopers.
Thank you.
And then we just play them back with like the Benny Hill theme. Like, that's entertainment. Or there used to be like, when they flub lines in movies and they play them after the credits, and you're like, oh, that's great. Like, you want to see professionals make mistakes. It makes them human. So these botches, I'm sorry, Jason, I didn't call them. These mistakes that happen at live events.
Much better.
Are the form of entertainment. So Jericho, I love you. You just have plenty of your shirts and everything, and I'm still a fan of you, but you're sounding more like old man yelling at a cloud right now.
Joe, I'm with 1,000%. I thought that exactly where my head was of like, yeah, like those 80s, like NFL bloopers, like people enjoy that stuff. And like, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but like when those moments happen where if I were in a crowd saying like, you fucked up, like it's out of like love in the sense of like, I'm not like, coming down on you. It's just like, haha, like, but obviously keep going. As long as no one's getting hurt, it's not like a botch where someone's getting hurt. I think it's completely fair game. Like, you talk about mistakes happen, and it's not like a true botch, but I feel like it's equated to like a hockey goalie when they're on the road and they let in some goals. What do? They chant the last name of the goalie, the whole crowd, Flurry, so like you're getting under his skin. I kind of feel like it's the same in a sense. And so I saw this out of Jericho. I'm sorry. I like watching Botchamania. That shit's hilarious. So I'm not with him at all.
Are we moving on, or is that the end of that segment? Because I would like to close out the segment if We've got
talk forever.
No, I don't. I took an edible before we started, so I don't really remember what I just said. I just know that sometimes people think I take the fun out of things, which it's not the intention. It's just that I can't do the stuff these guys and girls can do. So, like, I would never fucking disrespect by saying you fucked up or botch and all that stuff. I don't watch Botchamania. I think I've watched one, and I think it was just like there was like a broken leg, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to see the fuck ups because shit happens. Like he said, they're human. It's a live show, and I don't try to take the fun out of things on purpose.
All right, fair enough. Dynamite. We have Fighter Fest night 1. A pretty stacked show for the most part. We're gonna get Jericho and Kingston and something called the Barbed Wire Everywhere match, where barbed wire will be like on the ring ropes, on the turnbuckles, will be in the crowd, maybe, who knows. So we got
Is it on the mat? That's the thing that's like, I'd like to see it on the mat, but I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on boards in the corners like they do at GCW.
Sure.
Like with glass, they do like the glass tables.
So we got that next week. And we got new tag champs, and I really enjoyed this match. And I gotta admit, sometimes with Dynamite, I don't maybe enjoy it as much as I should, because if it's like a match, where like the champion's defending and you're like, well, they're not losing, but they actually pulled a trigger surprisingly with Swerve and Keith Lee, Swerve and My Glory, winning the triple threat match, where we all seem to think that the Young Bucks would carry it on to All Out
against FTR. That was our big thing last week.
It seemed like, okay, that's building to that. So kudos. It was a hell of a match. And they made the title switch. Guys, just thoughts on that, or just Dynamite in general? Anything that you took away from it?
I'll say the new tag champs. It was a swerve, right? To everyone's probably thoughts. This is the nice thing with AEW. Okay, yeah, they're overloaded with guys, but you do see some title changes on normal TV because they don't do as many pay-per-views. That is a benefit with the surprise factor. I was totally surprised. But it also makes FTR belt collectors more in line to maybe collect those belts. Young Bucks never lost the belts, and then that setups for one down the road.
But they did lose the belts. Did you not watch on Wednesday?
No, but they lost in a triple threat.
They didn't get pinned.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I meant. So it kind of leads into the story, right? Of FTR, let them collect everything. I thought it was pretty damn good. Pretty dang good event. I liked it a lot. And I'm excited for next week. Kingston, you never know what you're going to get with the guy, right? It's going to be fun. That match is either going to be awesome or a train wreck. And it's going to be with their chemistry. I'm hoping it's awesome. Who knows?
I felt like the title change happened because of the Hardy Boys. I feel like the Hardys were supposed to win that match because it was always supposed to be a setup for Christian Cage to turn on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So I think that the title change happened because I don't think the Young Bucks were ever supposed to be tag champs again.
That's a good point. I think it was the in case of emergency break glass.
Yeah, it's
kind of situation.
And they are executive VP, so they had the power to do that. It's like, okay, let's just do the titles. Like we can't have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus move on because we know that that's going to be the breakup that's going to lead into All Out. So it had to be done. The title switch and the turn had to be done there. Mm-hmm. So I don't think, that's why I think this match got put in there. And I like, Kevin, your point of the Bucks didn't exactly get pinned, so that's why they made it a triple threat.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that Claudio and Hager went kind of long. They almost went as long as all of the SmackDown matches in general, which reality it should have been a squash.
Yeah.
It should have been a 5-minute match.
Well,
you think?
They built up Hager,
Hager barely wrestles singles. He's part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like he's just there. He's a muscle. And like if you're gonna build Claudio, you gotta like He's got to take out the muscle quicker than 13
they alluded
minutes.
to their history, though, right? Like, these guys know each other so well. They were partners. So for that reason, I was fine.
And the crowd was chanting "We the People."
Of
which
course. Yeah.
I thought they stopped that when Jericho said that was a bad gimmick written by lousy writers.
No, they brought it back.
But that's old man yelling at Cloud Jericho again.
Good show all around. We'll have some fun stuff to talk about next week with the next, I guess, fighter. What do they call it? Day 2 of Fighter
Fest. Day 3.
It'll be day 3.
Rampage
Day 2 is Rampage.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. What do we all feel about with Ricky Starks? Because the more I watch him, the more I'm like, there's something really special about this guy. You guys feel that?
A lot of people think he could be the next Rock.
He's got a lot of ability.
What I didn't like there was one thing about that match with Ricky Starks, as a matter of fact, too, that I didn't like. I tweeted about it. It says, I know we were supposed to suspend disbelief to watch wrestling, but really. It was that point where Nick Jackson was holding Ricky Starks' hand and Matt Jackson was holding someone else's hand. Like they were all on opposite teams. Like,
yeah.
If you're in a match against, wouldn't you just yank the fucker off the rope instead of letting him do gymnastics shit?
Yeah.
And then, of course, a couple people came after me. Someone wrote, pretty cool moment. Someone's like, it was amazing. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And then somebody said this to me, and I don't know what this means. Hold on. Let me find it. Where the fuck? This guy, he said something, and I just didn't understand what it meant. Ayo, you won the ratio, dude. I don't know what that means. What's that mean? What does that mean?
Bing bong.
I don't know. God, we're so old and lame. I see that on Twitter that like when somebody says an opinion that I think collectively people disagree with, they go ratio, but I don't.
It's like 100 to 1. It's like 1,000 to 1.
Means?
So you're the to 1. So you're the ratio of that one. That's the math teacher in me trying to figure out what that slang means. It's like you're the ratio. You're the 1. Everyone else is on one side. You're the other.
But
so then I responded with a Steve Austin gif saying, what? And I don't know what he means.
We're so old.
And then he hit me with an Austin what?
So now you're friends again then. That sounds like.
No, I still don't know I don't know what it means.
I think that's the closest it can be, but we could all be nerds afterwards and look it up.
Yeah. We'll work on it.
I couldn't care less. But there's one thing I'd like to mention on Dynamite, because we didn't mention it yet. The Orange Cassidy match at the beginning, it started out so stupid, and I was on Brian's side for the first half with it, but then they pulled out the chainsaw underneath the ring, and when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm now on board with the rest of this match. And then pulling out Danhausen from under the ring, and he doesn't give him the curse, and he walked away. That match was exactly what it was supposed to be, and it made me more on board with Orange Cassidy in the second half. The first half of the match, I thought it was ridiculous, but then when they, instead of a chair, or instead of a barbed wire bat, or instead of a sledgehammer, it was a chainsaw.
Are the best friends bad guys now?
I don't know
they said they were going to do anything they can to cheat, to make sure, because they got their manager license, but they weren't bad guys. They just wanted their guy to win.
It's just weird.
But they were terrible at cheating because they brought out a chainsaw.
I appreciated the Wardlow ripping the pockets off. That was I
appreciated Orange Cassidy putting the straps back on Wardlow.
Yeah. It was what it was.
That was entertaining.
It was.
Brian, admit it. That was entertaining.
I admit it. All right, so we're going to get into this week's 5 count with the breaking news that was official and not official and maybe soon to be official, all about WWE and Raw going to TV 14.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 count.
So yes, this week's 5 count, 5 WWE wrestlers who will benefit the most from the change to from PG to TV 14. So again, kind of the criteria of, language, violence, maybe, scantily clad women who knows what that all means. Who would like to go first?
I'll play the role of Kevin. I know we have 5, but I actually have 6 with an asterisk. If Sasha Banks was still here, this would be the perfect return to Sasha's ratchet version of Sasha Banks that she had in NXT. Number 5, Kevin Owens. Go watch the Kevin Steen footage from Ring of Honor. You'll see what I mean. Number 4, Andre Chase at NXT. Hear me out. The Chase U segments are a little edgy from time to time. Mm-hmm. This would just ramp it up even more. The new one this week, they went to London. And it was just a great, fun bit. And I love those guys. Number 3, Finn Balor. We had the Prince in NXT. Ramp that up with a little bit of Bullet Club edge that he had in New Japan. We could have, and now, I guess Finn is the leader of the Judgment Day, but this could definitely add to that. Number 2, when he returns from injury, Cody Rhodes. Heel Cody is a lot of fun. Arrogant, just better than, it's such a great, again, go back to his Ring of Honor stuff, some of his New Japan and Bullet Club stuff. Heel Cody's a good time. And number 1, Corey Graves on commentary. We haven't had a heel commentator in a long time. And a heel commentator with edge, Graves is that guy. So that's my 5 count for the week.
All right. I'll go next because it's very similar. So we'll just get this out of the way. My number 5, Corey Graves as a commentator. He could bring the heel commentator to a place that Jerry Lawler couldn't do it without, because he wouldn't just be yelling puppies. He would be basically, he would be bringing the skill set involved of the heels in there too, and he wouldn't be shackled. Number 4, Jason, again, we agree. Kevin Owens, just the violence part of TV 14. He needs that back. Number 3, Seth Rollins. In TV 14, he's already playing off PG, but he's on that edge where he could be better. Number 2, Becky Lynch. Okay. The promos alone of her just basically going off on the rest of the women's division. And number 1's kind of cheating. Judgment Day. Their beatdowns, that's what they need. They need to start attacking people. So you said Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor and Damian Priest, both of them together, for TV 14 would make that faction, if you can call it that, actually be successful.
Kevin, I'll let you go next, but tell me this though. Do you have Corey Graves on your list?
I do.
You do? Okay. All right. Then go ahead and then I'll say what I have to say.
We have a clean sweep of Corey Graves.
we don't, but I got a good one though.
Number 5. I started off with Mandy Rose. I think that she's going to be moving up to the main roster again. I think before the end of the year, flirting with that battle royal. She's improved in the ring so much. I won't say amazing on the mic, amazing to compare to what she used to be. And she looks like $1 million. I feel like if you were going to put someone in that looked good on the mic and way better improved in the ring, I feel like the sky's the limit with her when she gets back to the main roster. And I feel like she's going to be great if she goes to Raw. That is, if she goes to SmackDown, it's going to be water.
Do the other 2 go with her?
See, this is the thing. I don't think so. I think they'll get lost on the main roster. That's the thing. I think Gigi could handle herself. That's the thing. I forget the third one's name.
JC Jane.
I feel like if they go up together, it'll be like the Riot Squad going up. It's there can only be one.
But I think these would be a better, more TV 14 women than Nikki ASH and Doudrop.
Well, it actually leads into my number 4. I have Doudrop. I don't want her to smile, right? I want her to just go down, look mean, use that weight. You know what I mean? She's a bigger lady, but she can go crazy in the ring. Perfect. Beat the shit out of bitches outside of the ring. Talk about how you want to beat chicks up, kind of like Rhea Ripley. Rhea looks like a monster, smiles way too much, right?
But her smile is more evil than
Well, I was saying
she's a
until
good guy
Judgment
and a
Day,
bad
She
guy,
enjoys
which-
hurting people. That's her smile.
That's been kind of cut off now. But yeah.
But the thing with Dewdrop, I feel like when she was what was her name? And
For Nevin.
yes, Piper. When she was on NXT UK, monster. Now they threw her in some weird get up. Give her, man, let her use her size to be a destructive power. I feel like she could just be great. Number 3, I actually have Riddle. I think Riddle, if he showed more of his MMA, amazing on the mic, amazing in the ring. I feel like it could flirt more with just being so much more aggressive, but still have his stoner, not knock that thing. Have 2 gummies worth, Jason. How would you act if you had 2 gummies worth, right? And it kind of rolls into the whole
paranoid,
kind of flirting with the drug thing anyway. Number 2, I have Corey Graves. You guys hit it right on the nose. Have him, talk more about Carmella. Get in the ring, like you know what I mean? Do shady behind the scenes stuff to help Carmella win. Oh, wasn't me. I was just out there trying to protect my wife, type thing. And number 1, I think that this should all kick off the night where those vignettes come to fruition. If it's going to be Edge, perfect. You show him this past Monday night you had the Mick Foley's on the pallet,
yeah.
And then and of course he gave him the spear through it. You have all classic tougher eras of wrestling going through there. And if it's a swerve and it's Bray Wyatt, perfect. Let him come back. He's not on the roster, so apparently I have an asterisk next to mine if it's Bray. But have that tie-in. If it's 2 more weeks of that and somebody comes in the Monday after SummerSlam, perfect. Let that be the first Monday of it. Imagine if you saw Monday Night Raw flash in the upper left-hand corner or maybe right-hand corner, it says TV 14, and we see that vignette come on and somebody come out and we're surprised. And then that introduces, a new era or something like that. But that's my 5 count. So yes, I did have Corey Graves.
Okay. I did not, but you guys, all 3 of you kind of said, alluded to what I thought was, what Corey's role could be. And this was from Sean Ross Sapp, of course, of Fightful.com on Twitter. And he just puts Byron in quotes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, Corey? I don't think the Bloodline are nice fellas. Corey, shut the fuck up, Saxton, you little hoe. If that happens, TV 14 forever. I love it. But yeah, I don't have Corey. I thought that was a good obvious one. My number 5 was Brock. I think Brock already takes some liberties. I feel like he's said, didn't he say F your kids to Heath Slater back in the day? I don't give a fuck about your kids. So I think Brock can have some fun with that and cause some good moments. My female entrant, number 4, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is fantastic on the mic, but she really, since she's come back, hasn't really done a whole lot with that. And if she goes back to Mean Girl Alexa Bliss, I think she could really have some fun. My number 3 was the Usos. I just think, the 2 of them together when they're doing promos, it comes across as they're kind of from the streets and they're rough, and Roman has such a presence, and these guys are a little bit more when they're going one-on-one with the Street Profits on the mic, there's a back and forth to it. All right. So I see something there with them. My number 2, I know, is on your list. I think Jay Cody, kind of the same way. I saw a clip just the other day, and it was with his feud with Jericho, and we haven't seen a lot of angry Cody on the mic yet. Obviously he's on the shelf for quite some time, it seems like, but he was doing a promo on Jericho, and just the clip on Twitter somebody put was him saying to Jericho, "You stupid dick." Do you guys remember that at all? Something like that. Yeah, that's great. So that, and my number 1, same on your list, Jay, though, I think it was number 5, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is my number 1. He is the most, I think, authentic speaker on the WWE roster. So giving him a little more leeway with his language and just with the violence as well. I think he'll do what he always does, and he'll just make the most of it and make you, want to watch it and feel what he's doing. Again, he's just the most authentic wrestler to me in all of WWE. So we'll see if this all comes to fruition. Maybe not this Monday, maybe the following week, but maybe some exciting times ahead. That is this week's 5 count. You stupid.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5Count.
And that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching on our YouTube. We're pushing, I think, like 3,600 subscribers. And Jay, kudos to you because you've been turning out the videos like crazy. Yeah. So it's awesome. Make sure you guys check out. If you don't have the time to watch the full show on YouTube, you're going to get a lot of great clips on the YouTube page. It's at That Wrestling Pod
cast.
That Wrestling Podcast.
You know what? You did.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's
it
okay,
wasn't
Jericho.
the Godfather's
you can
fault.
Say you fucked up.
It wasn't the Godfather's fault. It was your fault.
It's
you
okay.
Typed it wrong.
Give it to me. I did type it wrong.
So it's That Wrestling Podcast on
Thank
YouTube.
You.
It's That Wrestle Pod on everything else on social. Don't forget to go to whatamaneuver.net. Pick up one of our shirts. We've got 4 designs. Maybe some more coming for the fall and Christmas season. Just have to wait and see. And now back to our regularly scheduled host that might be able to finish the show without fucking up.
Yep, it's par for the course. Hey, Jay, happy birthday once
Thank
again.
You
guys,
still got it.
Fellas, have a good one. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, enjoy wrestling.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3. That's it.